And welcome to Huntley, Illinois for the final regular season matchup between the Huntley Red Raiders and Burlington Central Rockets. I'm Anthony Collada here on the call with my partner Caden Slad. Caden, kind of up and down, back and forth season here for the Raiders. Big win in their game last week. Really fighting for a playoff spot coming into this one. What do the Raiders need to do to give themselves a fighting chance to make the playoffs next week?
Well, here's a couple things to note, partner. For one, as you've seen, record-wise, these teams have remained fairly even, with going into the final game of the season, Central only having one win over Huntley. And if you look at the breakdown of these wins, you see a couple of interesting patterns. For one of Huntley's most notable losses, their third loss of the season, was against Cary Grove. And it was a tight game, with Huntley only losing by 1 point, with it being a last-minute score. And then you notice the first game for Central was also against Cary Grove, and they got essentially completely blown out.
Yeah, so I mean, here, the Raiders, they came out, had a couple wins to start the season, and then had back-to-back losses against Jacobs and then Prairie Ridge. They typically struggle against Prairie Ridge anyways. And then they went on, a couple wins here, and then another loss. They get back on the board with the win against Dundee Crown last week. And, at that 5 wins kind of mark, right now, the Raiders kind of at that at-large playoff team spot where you kind of get to that 6 wins, and maybe you find yourself in a position to bring on a playoff game, maybe on the road, but at least you fight to get there.
Yeah, and a thing to note about actual player-wise is the first loss of the season for Huntley was week 3 after 2 big wins against Central and McHenry. They lost to Jacobs, and the loss essentially came from Jacobs really just sort of running the ball down Huntley's throat. As we talked about before, they use, similar to Prairie Ridge, they use a lot of misdirection in their run game, and that's something Huntley's defense was not prepared for. However, you'll notice the 2 first losses of the season for Huntley were against Jacobs and against Prairie Ridge. Both those teams used a lot of misdirection runs that Huntley did not really have an answer to. However, as we have seen, with the Central offense so far this season, they are a lot less run-heavy than the 3 teams that Huntley has lost to so far, with some of the stars on the offense being guys like Caden West, primary wide receiver who has caught touchdowns in, I believe, every win so far for Central. So, with this being a very important and most likely a very challenging game for Huntley, but this time against a team that's a little bit more pass-heavy on the offense, there's a chance that we see this Huntley defense adjust better than they have in some of the previous tough games this season.
Yeah, Central, a fairly new opponent for the Raiders. We've really only started playing them over the last 5 years, this being the 6th year now in a row that the Raiders have seen the Rockets. And, here, to this point, the Raiders have had Burlington's number, beating them in all 5 of those matchups going back to the 2019 season. And they've really, handled their business, averaging 31 points a game on offense and averaging just a tick under 8.5 points allowed to Burlington. So this season, the script has flipped a little bit, especially on the Burlington side, as they've hit 6 wins. That is by far the most wins that they have had in the near past. Their most wins came back in the 2017-2018 season when they won just 5 games. So already surpassing their most wins in the last 5+ years. Now, they've already clinched that playoff spot. If you're Burlington Central, do you kind of come into this game, hey, we're clinched, let's take our foot off the gas a little bit and coast to the playoffs? Or is this a game that they need to come out here as well and really just set it to Huntley and now put the Raiders in a bad spot to get into the playoffs?
Well, that's the thing, partner, as it may seem like a little more of a, as you might say, a smarter, more logical decision to, not take this game as seriously as you have as some of the previous ones in the season if you're Central. I don't think that that's what we're going to see. As you've said, Central is yet, since they've been inducted into the Fox Valley Conference, to lose a game to Huntley. And this is most likely the best Central team we have seen since they've joined the conference. And this is sort of their first opportunity, as they might see it, to really show that not just this Huntley team, but really the whole conference, that they can sort of play with the big boys and that they can beat one of the more renowned programs in the conference. And I think that they're going to use that opportunity to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, here Burlington has shown it throughout the season with some big wins. You know, obviously throughout the schedule, you know, beating up on some of the lesser teams like Dundee Crown, Crystal Lake South, and Central. But a couple of the games that really stand out is especially the win against Prairie Ridge, just little over 3 weeks ago now, when they played in Prairie Ridge and beat them 52-21. Remember, partner, this was a team that Huntley can't seem to beat in the last 3 years. They got, you know, pretty much routed at home when Prairie Ridge came here a couple of weeks ago. So that one matchup alone, seeing that Burlington was able to handle Prairie Ridge, knowing that Prairie Ridge loves to run the football, just as Huntley loves to run the football on the offensive side of the ball, is this a bad matchup then that you start asking yourself?
Yeah, and I think that that Prairie Ridge game is one of the big things to talk about with the lead up to what we're about to watch here. That is, frankly, a very impressive win. That is, Prairie Ridge is a team that in the near past, every single team in the conference has struggled with, including Central, and most notably including Huntley. Huntley very rarely can find a win against Prairie Ridge, even in their best years. And with having such a big win against them, I believe their biggest win of the season against what is considered to be, in general, the best team in this conference, that really shows that they're here to play, and they're able to adjust to a very run-heavy offense. And I'm thinking that that is a similar mentality they're going into and playing against Huntley.
Yeah, and you know, a couple other matchups that really stand out is going to be, you know, a couple of losses that both teams have on the schedule. The main ones being to Jacobs, which is one of those teams that Jacobs here and there throughout the season, or throughout the last seasons, but really a better team this year. Huntley struggled with them earlier in the season. Burlington struggled with them a couple of weeks ago in a tighter matchup than Huntley had. And then you take a look at the Cary games. Well, Central lost to Cary way back in week 1. Huntley just lost to Cary only 2 weeks ago. So, you know, you got a couple of these common opponents that it almost looks like Burlington was able to handle better than Huntley did. When all of that comes together, All right, so we are still working through some technical issues as the camera is not working, but I do think that we might be able to get sound here, so we might be able to just go with the radio style broadcast with no visuals for you here. But you know, we're gonna keep working through it here. We got our partner Caden going to try to get this camera working. So I'm gonna solo this thing with you guys here. We are 7:57 remaining here in the first quarter. Huntley driving down the field with the ball. Burlington Central was stopped. Burlington Central was stopped inside Huntley's territory and before turning it over on downs and giving Huntley the ball back. So Huntley now has the ball at the looks to be 3 or 4 yard line. We've got the sticks out measuring for a first down, and it doesn't look like that they're going to give the Raiders the spot. So the Raiders will now also turn the ball over on downs inside their own red zone, where Burlington Central will take over at the 3 yard line. We do apologize for the technical issues and the lack of camera work. We're here 0-0 in Huntley, Illinois against Burlington Central. With the quarterback for the Rockets, number 4, Jackson Alcorn, out of the shotgun with the running back, Zachary Salmon, to his left. The receiver, Caden West, motions out right. Salmon up the middle for a short gain of only 2, and there is a flag thrown in from the back judge. So we await that call. Looks to be on the Burlington Central offense. So this will not a whole lot of room to go with the ball on the 3 yard line. It is a hold, so that'll be half the distance to the goal. Replay the first down. It looks like is what the Raiders are going to opt for. So that will move the ball back to about the 1.5, 2 yard line, and we will replay first down. The Raiders got down into their own territory with a big run from Ari Fiebig, who, interesting story is he was more on the defensive side of the ball playing defensive back all year. Now in at running back, ripped off a big chunker. The 1st and 12 snap this time is again Samuel on the right edge, breaks run tackle, and that was actually the running back Zane Pollock on the carry as he was able to slip through 1 or 2 tackles and pick up a good gain on first down. So now that puts Burlington back into a much more manageable 2nd and 4 from their own 10 yard line. Burlington, a team that very good on the run. That's typically how they're going to beat teams, but they do come out 5 wide here, and they are always a threat to throw the ball. As Alcorn in the shotgun adjusts the play and gets the second call from the sideline, trips to his left to the wide side of the field. He looks that way, fires that way short, and it is caught by the receiver that is Ryan Dublin on the slant route for the first down. So Burlington, back up in their own zone, manages to get by the holding call and pick up the first down, give themselves some breathing room, with the ball now at the 19 yard line. Raiders defense, Ari Fiebig does come in to play the right cornerback position on the short side of the field, lined up against Lucas Kerr, the Rockets' number 1 receiver. Alcorn in the shotgun again. West motions to the left. Fires out right, intended for Kerr, but just out of his reach as Kerr ran all the way across the field. But the ball just out of his reach brings up 2nd and 10. I was mentioning that Burlington, they like to establish the run and get going and pick up yards that way, but they do have some talent on the outside with Caden West and Lucas Kerr that love giving defenses issues. They've also got Chase Pauruzik out wide to the right. Alcorn in the shotgun. Caden West motions left to right. They give the handoff up the middle, and that is going to be the running back, Zane Pollock, again, squirting through the inside of the defense for a big gain on for a first down. 6 minutes and 5 seconds now here remaining in the first quarter. Ball on the 35-yard line for the Rockets. Trips to the right side of the field. Alcorn in the shotgun with the running back behind him. That is Pollock. They hand it off to him up the middle. Quick juke upfield, falls forward for a gain of 3, and there are 2 flags on the play. One came in from the back judge, and then another one came in late after the whistle was blown. So we will see what these calls are, work that out, and get... Does look like they're going to be backing them up as Burlington's offense starting to head back to the 25-yard line. Still awaiting the call here. 5 minutes and 37 seconds left. We got a little bit of a brisk night. It's going to be a holding call on the offense. There is also going to be another penalty, maybe a block in the back on the offense. So one of those will be accepted, and Burlington will be backed up for a long first down attempt. But as I mentioned, a little bit brisk here in this final regular season game in Huntley. 50 degrees was first kickoff temperature. Slight wind, maybe about 5 miles an hour, picks up a little bit here and there. You've got Burlington's offense going right to left, east to west. Wind out of the west. And it's also Huntley's senior night tonight, being the final home game of the regular season. And despite it being pretty chilly out here, you do still have quite a bit of the fan section of the Raiders participating in their theme night tonight, being the Pink Out, as we're in the month of October and breast cancer awareness. So we got the Pink Out here for the Raiders game. Burlington still wanting to get an explanation from the referee on that call, as they have the ball spotted at the 13-yard line now. So a very long 1st and 33. So it's very possible that there was a holding call, and then it wasn't a block in the back. It was a 15-yard personal foul penalty after the play. So they don't just get to accept one because it being a personal foul. So you add the 25 yards, you take off the 2 that they just got. 4th and 33. Not really sure there's a play in the playbook for this, as they do come out 5 wide. Alcorn drops back, steps up in the pocket. He fires down the left sideline. There's Feebig, and it's incomplete, and the flag does come out. The pass intended for Chase Powrzik. It's one of those plays down the left sideline, slightly underthrown. Feebig was in a great position, but just kind of threw his hands up and didn't turn around to look at the ball. It's what they call face guarding, and it's going to get flagged for pass interference more times than not. The referees do look to be discussing it. You can kind of hear the Raiders faithful not liking the call, but you know, as a defensive back, when you're not getting your head around, typically that will draw the pass interference. And there is the call. So a big 15-yard penalty is really going to help get that penalty yardage back for the Rockets. And the Huntley fans not liking that call. Unfortunately, though, kind of the right call. So now that brings up maybe a 1st and 18 now from the 27-yard line. They come out 5 wide again, trips to the wide side of the field right, Alcorn in the shotgun. He drops back to pass again, has time, now he's under pressure, escapes out of the pocket right, still looking, fires, over the top, and there's Prowazic, and it's knocked away. A fantastic play there as the defender for the Raiders was able to recover. That's Charlie Condon. Alcorn tried to float that one over the defense and just didn't quite put enough air and power underneath it. Condon able to knock it away as the ball was in Prowazic's hand. So now a 3rd and 18 gets brought up for the Rockets. The Raiders defense really looking for a stop. Come out with 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Alcorn in the shotgun again. The running back, Pollock, gets the handoff, spins out of one tackle, spins out of another, but he's swallowed up by a slew of Raiders defenders to bring up a 4th down and long. You have to figure the punt unit is going to come out, but it looks like the Rockets offense, I do apologize, it's still 3rd down. All these penalties have been replaying a couple of these down. So still 3rd down now, 3rd and 15, as we tick down to 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this scoreless first quarter. Trips to the right side of Alcorn. They motion Pollock to the left out of the backfield. Floats it up to the tight end, and that pass is caught by Matthew Bending.
First down.
Very interesting pass there from Alcorn. He really likes just kind of putting a lot of touch on the ball, floating it up over the defense. And Matthew Bending, a taller target, bigger being the tight end, is able to high point that ball and pull it down over the Raiders defender for the first down. So now ball at midfield. Spread offense again for the Rockets. Alcorn in the shotgun. Zane Pollock, the running back, to his right. Lucas Kerr, the receiver, motions out of the slot left to right. Rolls that way. Alcorn passes caught by Kerr for 12 yards and a first down. A very strong catch there from Kerr as he's able to fight through some contact, hang on, and pick up the first down. The Burlington Central offense really starting to click now. Rolling out, finding a couple of passes, hitting some open receivers, and now moving the ball inside the 40-yard line of the Red Raiders. Does look like we maybe figured out our camera situation, so we might be able to get some picture back up for you here. We only missed about 70% of the first quarter, so we still will be able to bring you the rest of this game here with the video, hopefully, as we have 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We have my partner, Caden Slad, back on the mic now. Let's have a good, clean, smooth rest of this game, Caden.
Never happens any other way, partner.
It's always got to be something. It can never be easy. Camera just went black again. We're gonna fix this, or we're at least gonna try, but we're gonna continue to at least bring you our voices so you can hear the action going on between the Rockets and the Raiders. 2nd down and 8. Alcorn drops back to pass, looks right, still holding, rolls right, fires, and that ball is caught by Caden West along the sidelines and out of bounds. Ball now at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's some excellent mobility there shown by Jackson Alcorn. His ability to, even under pressure, roll out, fire that quick little gunslinger shot. Perfect play.
This has been a long drive for the Rockets, one of which that had a 1st and 33 on them. Now facing a 3rd and 3. 2 minutes and 21 seconds here in the first quarter. Alcorn now under center with the running back, Salmon, behind him. They give it to him up the middle, pushing forward, and it's going to depend on the spot. He breaks off another tackle. Looks like there was a fumble. Offensive lineman picked it up, brings it to the 25-yard line, and that is going to be a first down.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate penalty there for the Rockets, because especially that one's got stink for the running back, because that is some textbook power running there. But unfortunately, even after all those broken hits and tackles, can't always control the discipline of the guys next to you.
Yeah. The big left tackle, Zachary Holtgren, on the recovery there to save the drive. They have the big man listed at 6'5", 277.
Big boy got out there. No doubt that, at least from a physical standpoint, he's going to have an impact on the game.
1st and 10, Alcorn goes to Pollock out of the shotgun, up the middle, bounces off one tackle, falls forward
Run by number
to
1,
the
James
20, a
Pollock.
gain of 5 on 1st down. They've really got a nice 1-2 punch going at the running back position to do the Rockets. Between Pollock, a little bit quicker, a little shiftier, and then you bring in the bigger back, Zachary Salmon, for some of those more power run situations.
Exactly, and I hope the Huntley defense did their research. Because with that two attack, these two different styles they're alternating between, if you're not too familiar with this running attack going into this game, that's going to be hard to defend against.
Just over a minute remaining now in the first. 0-0 still to score. They go Pollock again around the right edge. Nice play made there
Gain of 3.
on the tackle
Tackle by
for
number
the
8,
Raiders.
Colin Kalemba.
Was, I believe, Colin Maston on that tackle.
Yeah, and that right there even demonstrated a little bit more of the alteration between the quick speed running and the hardcore power running, as you see with that. Nice little bit of quick outside running.
So now the 3rd down from the 30-yard line. Burlington has been able to pick up these situations here on this drive, looking for another one inside the red zone. This happens occasionally for the Rockets. They like to pick up their second play from the coach. That's West in motion left to right. Well, speed option route. The quarterback decided to keep that one, was Alcorn.
Run by number 4.
They are
Jackson
going to
Alcorn.
give them the 1st down. So every time,
Tackle by
Burlington,
number
they
41,
keep
Jack
finding themselves
Erzachowski.
more manageable 3rd downs.
1st and
Picking
10.
them up.
Burlington Central.
Yeah, even if they're not ripping off these huge 10-plus yards play every time, even if they're not, getting their 1st downs off the first play, they're at least able to get themselves slowly into manageable positions, which is all you really need to do, especially when you have such well put together alternating running offense.
And that is going to bring us to the end of this scoreless first quarter here in Huntley, Illinois, between the Raiders and the Burlington Central Rockets. We will be right back here with the second quarter on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Slide the camera over so we can get it down here. Did all right. Free balling it for a good 6 minutes.
Did he get in?
No, I
Put him on?
didn't.
No, he didn't. I thought about putting the
I
headset
thought
on.
about-
Well,
I thought
You
about
should
it,
have.
but
You should have. But no, I was doing all right free balling that.
We believe
You
this
still
game
get
is played according to the rules of the IHSA. These rules provide for fair competition among all.
All right, and we are back with the second quarter between the Raiders and the Rockets. Relatively close first quarter, several penalties, lots of big yardage, but Burlington moving the ball here on this drive inside the 15-yard line of the Raiders. 1st and 10. It rolls out right, fires that one. I believe that's the tight end again, Matthew Bending, the bigger target around the red zone.
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you need that from your receiving game. You switch it up. You have their, like Caden West and those quick agile receivers that everyone likes to take advantage of. But sometimes around the red zone, when short chunker is all you need just to get the job done. Those big guys can really overpower some of those linebackers or DBs.
2nd and 6 for the Rockets. You have the two best players for the offense, Caden West and Lucas Kerr, out to the left. Alcorn in the shotgun. He looks that way. The pass rush is there, wrapped up and brought down. The ball does come out, but the quarterback was down on that play. That sack will be credited to Jacob Pinter, the defensive end.
Some excellent pressure there by this Raiders defensive line. as you've seen, this quarterback, Alcorn, he can be a little shifty. He's done multiple plays so far, even if his O-line's let some pressure in. He's done a good job of just rolling out, firing off quick passes when he needs to. He's not able to escape at that time.
Pinter able to get by the big left tackle Holtgren for the sack. Brings up what is another 3rd and very long. This time 3rd and 21 for the Rockets. What is kind of your play call here, partner, if you're 3rd and 21 and you were in the red zone?
Yeah, well, you see, this is a tricky situation. If you ask me, they're going to look to, as you said, some of their most successful targets, such as Caden West.
And they do find one of those targets. That is the receiver, Powrizik. Gets back to about the 10-yard line. So not enough to pick up a first down, but now it's going to bring up a decision, either a much more manageable 4th down, 4th and about 7 or 8, or they can bring in the kicking unit, but it does look like they're going to keep the offense out. I think I have to agree.
I have to too, but it's a very important decision. This is, as you can tell, scoreless game so far. Opportunity to put the first points on the board, and they're not going quietly. They're going to go all or nothing here.
Raiders faithful getting into this one as the Rockets come out 5 wide. Alcorn looks right. Pass rush comes, leaks out right. He's got a lane, and he's forced out of bounds. So not going to be close to the end zone on that one.
Alcorn with the quarterback keeper.
Does look to be a
5-yard line.
It's going to be close. It's going to depend on the spot. You have the first down marker right at about the 5.5 or so yard line. 4.5 or so yard line.
Very tight as whether he got this momentum shifting possible first down here. We're going to have to wait for the call.
Alcorn seems to believe he picked it up. The Raiders' defense isn't coming off the field, so it does look like the chain gang will come out. And I got a little bit of a point to make. The year is 2024. We're almost into 2025, and we still have humans manually walking out sticks with a chain to measure footballs.
Yeah, it might seem a little antiquated, almost barbaric even when you put it that way, but, I don't mind the tradition of it. You've got to keep the humans employed somehow.
I mean, I think the whole conversation around the chain gang kind of had to go away after that Gene Tessitore measuring the length of the basket. But the chains work in the favor of the Raiders on this one, as it is going to be short. The Raiders pick up a stop inside their own red zone, turn it over, and take over on offense.
Yeah,
Big stop.
No matter what you thought before, I bet if you're a Raiders fan, you do not have too many complaints about the chain gang right now.
Just laser technology, all of these different things that we have to measure distance and whatnot, and we're using chains.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So with that, the Raiders will now take over at their own 4-yard line, bringing out a couple of receivers. They do bring in a tight end as well. That's Grant Tucker. Dvorak, the running back, to Bowers left. They go with a little flip pass to the receiver. Who was that?
Pass to number 15, Connor Wade. Tackled by number 7, Liam
Connor
Johnson.
Wade. We saw him make a couple of plays
Gain of
in the
3.
game against Prairie Ridge, but just so many different options for the Raiders at the receiver position.
Yeah, like we've been talking about, with the loss of Hayden Jenke, this offense has definitely become at least a little bit more diverse this year. And Connor Wade, one of those more new and upcoming weapons that we've seen getting a little bit more touches.
Someone we also haven't heard from yet was Wyatt Fleck. He's really come on these last several weeks. As he's looking that way now, Bauer still looking. He finally fires over the head. That was Jordan Aruche, the intended target. Aruche and Fleck, kind of these two receivers that have really picked it up over these last couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen some major, really, quite frankly, impressive plays and catches from both of them. Especially Fleck is someone that we've seen, getting worked in more, getting some more touches, and so far it's been working in the offense's favor. So after the impressive win against Crown last week, we're going to just have to see how much they feel like incorporating them.
Aruche has touchdowns in back-to-back games as Bauer fires to the right, and that is Fleck, but well high and incomplete intended for him. So yeah, Aruche, 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games. You go back to the game against Cary in the loss. Wyatt Fleck had 12 catches for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns, but no success on that third down brings in the punting unit as the Raiders only pick up 3 yards.
Yeah, and that's a continued issue for this Raiders offense this season. Is just the inconsistency when it comes to accuracy we've been seeing from Braylon Bowers. Compared to last year, his overthrows and underthrows have, unfortunately for the Raiders, started to just become more and more common, and this is a drive-ending example of that.
Punting unit out for the Raiders. 1 man deep for Burlington, and that was Curran. Not a very good kick with lots of hang time, not very much distance as that ball barely makes the 30-yard line. Burlington takes over with great field position at the 32.
Absolutely not how you want to give the ball back. They're getting it well past midfield, and although Central was not able to finish the job last time, we did see them obviously make excellent progress and march all the way down the field. So we're going to see if they can just finish the job this time, finish what they tried to start.
Definitely chugging along here in this second quarter. Already 8.5 minutes remaining before halftime. Still a 0-0 score. Lots of back and forth defensive battles going on. Is Alcorn in the shotgun again? And there's Pollock on the hand. Shifty back, making people miss. And just like that, it looked like he was stopped in the backfield and he picks up 8.
Yeah, nice bit of elusive running there. Just get past the defenders. As we've seen, is yet another contrast with the Central running game. Is another advantage of that.
How important is this drive defensively for the Raiders, especially considering the bad punt?
Yeah, hugely important, absolutely. As we saw, that was a massive stop they were to get last time after giving up great field position to the Rockets, not letting them score, but then having to give the ball right back with great field position. It's important that they can hang tight.
Run by number 1, Zane Pollock.
Tried and true for the Rockets. There's Pollock again, right up the middle for the first down. They're really finding a lot of success with Pollock in the running game and then mixing in a couple of these passes. Bending, Powerizik, we've seen Kirby targeted, so really spreading the ball around on the Rockets.
Yeah, they have some talent on the receiving side that we haven't really seen enough use so far. And I don't think we will unless this Huntley line can really find an answer to this elusive running they've been showing.
Yeah, had the 1 sack, but not a whole lot else in terms of pressure and disruption from the Raiders defense. As they go hand again, this time on the carry is going to be the running back, Henry Deering. So Deering, with his first carry, picks up a decent chunk on first down for about 5, maybe 6 yards.
Yeah, that's a great way to start your game if that's the first time you're touching the ball. Really what they need to be able to get the just very manageable second down, and we'll see if they just keep going with what's been working, try another bit of elusive running.
Second down and 4, very manageable. That is the biggest thing. Outside of the penalties, Burlington has had very manageable down and distances. They go power back here, and they go fake the handoff to Deering this time. Alcorn around the right edge. Nice tackle made there by Maston.
Yeah, nice tackle there, but that's a pretty impressive piece of misdirection that we see again. As Central has probably noticed, if they've been watching the losses that Huntley has had, this Huntley defense, the linebackers in particular, really struggle with misdirection when it comes to running. So Central showing their hand a little bit, showing that's in their playbooks. We'll have to see if that's something that they're really going to try to exploit in this game.
Yeah, very good point about the misdirection. We haven't seen a whole lot of it from the Rockets, but Prairie Ridge, Jacobs, that's really where the Raiders struggled in the run game.
Yeah,
they go with it a little there. I like it. West in motion, right to left. Wide receiver. They go Zachary Salmon up the middle. The power back falls forward. Second big goal from the 4 now.
Yeah, that's it's an important stop there from Huntley. Like we've been saying, Huntley not typically, and obviously it's still a few yards doing, but not as much of a problem we've been seeing from Huntley so far this game of stopping these power runnings versus the elusive running. And so just making sure that these big guys, these strong guys cannot get past you and make sure that they don't break off those big touchdown runs. It's important, and they're showing they can stop.
As we tick to halfway through the second quarter, 6 minutes remaining. We got 4 wide, motions left to right. They go Salmon up the middle, basically untouched and in for the touchdown.
Yeah, that's
Touchdown
obviously not as good of an
Burlington.
example,
Number
but
23, Zachary Salmon.
a little bit of poor tackling there from the Huntley line. If they're gonna let those big guys, if they're gonna let those plays sort of fool you, not even get much of a hand on them, it's gonna be a big issue stopping these mid-yard red zone plays.
With the touchdown before the extra point, we do have an injured player down on the field. That is the right tackle, Brady Williamson. So 6 points on the board for Burlington here. As we await the injury, we'll go to commercial break, and we will be right back on Sports Broadcast Solutions. And Brady Williamson is up and able to walk off the field under his own power with some assistance of the trainer. So it's always positive to see it's hopefully not anything too serious.
Yeah,
But
always unfortunate to have that happen on the last game of the season, but you can always
we got the off season to recover.
Yeah.
One of those drives, the Raiders defense just not able to really make a stop. Burlington able to just kind of pick up good yardage on almost every play, and it's going to help you move the ball.
Yeah, it's almost trickier to defend against sometimes, an offense that's not going for these huge game-winning plays every time. It's just, if you don't have an answer to what they try to get solid little chunk yardage, then you're going to have a hard time stopping them getting to the end zone. Central gets ready for the extra point here.
Up and good.
It's up and good.
So that will be 7-0 now is the lead for the Rockets. Just under 6 minutes now remaining before halftime. So, pretty low scoring. We have really seen the defenses take over. The Raiders have been able to move the ball, but not able to capitalize once they get into the red zone. What do they need to do on this drive to get back up on the scoreboard?
Well, the key here is really just getting a feel for the defense. That's what you have to do in the early stages of the game. And to just really find their weakness. That's something Central has found that the Huntley defense has a weakness for their elusive running. Huntley needs to do something similar. See, all right, maybe we can use our weapons, like our deeper guys like Jordan Aruche, or kind of way to our advantage here. Or maybe that they have a hard time stopping an elusive quarterback like Braylon Bowers. They need to find whatever the Achilles heel is of this defense and make sure they can work it as hard as possible going into the second half.
Zach Rasavi, one of the deep men for the Raiders. The other one is number 12 for the Raiders that we do not have a number for, so we do apologize for that. As the kick is skied down and figures he's going to be the one that receives it with his heels about at the goal line. He's got some room around the right edge. Now up the middle, breaks through past the 30, almost to the 35, but there is a flag on the play. Looks like it's coming back. But a very good return there, nonetheless.
Yeah, excellent piece of running. Unfortunately for him, it's not all going to stick, but still a great way to start your drive. Not only getting the field position, but a little bit of morale boost there too after a big yardage play.
I feel like we have kind of been at a little bit of a time that it doesn't seem like we're running the ball really at all.
No, not really. It's we're seeing in some of these games so far not just a little bit more diversity, but almost just a polar opposite from what this offense looked like last year. And for some playing against some defenses, it just works better than others.
I mean, there's obviously a lot to be said about losing Hayden Janke. He's 6'1", 220, and he's got some quickness as well, but to almost get away from a game plan, the Raiders have always prided themselves running the ball, controlling the clock, playing good defense. They're managing some yards, but not really controlling the clock. Burlington very much winning in the time of possession.
Yeah, the classic ground and pound Huntley offense that we talk about, really not making much of a showing here. We're going to see if they transition to that.
As they spread it out again and throw it, Bauer now forced out of the pocket to the right, flag on the play, intended for Wyatt Fleck, but well out of bounds and incomplete.
Yeah, we're going to see what the penalty is here. Bauer's not really able to handle the pressure put on by Central.
It feels like that's also been a key point, that you're dropping back to pass so much. Well, this is giving the opportunity for these pass rushers to really just pin their ears back, not have to worry about the run.
Yeah, you can see what these pass rushers are capable of, right? And if you're giving them that opportunity almost every time they know exactly where the ball is, they know what they have to do, they're giving them pretty much a clear objective on every play. It can get easy for them to really settle in and get a flow going.
And it was a hold on the Raiders' offense as the running back Dvorak comes out. Ari Fiebig now in the game at running back. He's had some success over the last couple of weeks with touchdowns of 49 and 67 yards in each of the last 2 games. He ripped off a good gain of about 36 yards early in the first quarter, so maybe some lightning in a bottle here as they give him the ball around the right edge. Picks up a block, breaks a tackle, and threw for a first down, but yet another flag on the play. Caden, I feel like I'm watching an NFL game with all these flags.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're watching the Raiders play the Chiefs here. It's so far this drive, if you count the kick return, that's the second play out of 3. That possibly big yardage, possibly a real momentum gaining play that's getting called back.
And another hold on the Raiders offense. And you know that has to be driving the coaching staff of the Raiders absolutely crazy. You just let up a touchdown, you're pinned back in your own zone, you get a good return. There's where the penalty started. You pick up another one, and now you just got your third one, and you still haven't moved.
Yeah, it's that sort of, whether you want to call it the refs just being hard or lack of discipline, it's the type of thing that gets really on the
Bauer out of the pocket again. This time decides to keep around the right edge. Gain of about 6. So, a little bit more manageable now. Third and, call it 7. Maybe even a little bit of a 6.5. So, a little bit more manageable. 5 minutes before halftime. Really needing a first down if you're the Raiders, coming out in trips to the left. Burlington's fan section in all white getting rowdy now. Bauer forced out of the pocket to the left. Gets around the edge. But the pursuit of Burlington's defense is there. Able to stop him just short, about 2 yards of the first down. And being backed up against your own zone, the Raiders are going to elect to punt again.
Yeah, once again, that's a big play. The potential for a big play just ruined by the lack of really an answer to the pressure. But something this O-line's really going to have to settle in for. I mean, it's not been the best, most convincing showing so far between letting the pressure consistently get to the quarterback and the multiple fouls, or penalties rather, that have called back big plays.
Definitely looking for a better punt this time around are the Raiders. With the ball just at the 20, a free rusher coming, but able to get it away. A little bit better of a punt, takes a very favorable bounce past midfield into the 40-yard line, where Burlington Central will take over. This is a very dangerous point in the game if you're the Raiders. You've just let up the touchdown. You had no success on offense. You cannot afford to go down 14-0 going into the halftime.
No, most important part of the game so far for this Raiders defense. Again, able to, although giving up a lot of progression, able to ultimately stop the score on that big drive that led into the start of the second quarter. But yeah, you gave them excellent field position last time. They were able to score. They have less to work with now. Your punter did his job, got them not great field position. You have to show that you can really just hold them down.
Yeah, better punt, but still starting at the 40-yard line. Burlington still has all their timeouts, as do the Raiders. This time Alcorn screen pass to the left. And that's Kerr, makes one man miss. Shifty picks up 6 yards. A positive play on first down there for the Rockets.
Yeah, solid gain there. A little bit of, pretty elusive. Able to break a couple of tackles, and if that's a weapon that they're going to continue to use.
Number 31, Jaden Baker.
Linebacker's going to have to really be aware of that for sure.
Kerr to this point has 2 catches for 18 yards. 7 different receivers have caught a pass for the Rockets. As they come out 4 wide, twins to either side. Alcorn drops back, looks right, steps up in the pocket, he's going to keep it, fall forward for a first down. The tackle made there by the defensive lineman for the Raiders. Don't have his number either, but we apologize for that.
Yeah, nice little scramble there by Alcorn, even if it's not exactly how the play was drawn up. No coach is going to complain about first down there.
Yeah, very good clock management going on right now. Still 3 minutes remaining in all 3 timeouts. Burlington across midfield. All at the 49. Powerizik out wide to the left. Caden West, the lone receiver to the right. Kerr in motion from the left slot. They go Salmon up the middle for a very short gain. Brings him second and long.
Yeah, that's
number 33.
yeah, you're seeing just a little bit of advancement here, I feel like, for the Raiders. The defensive line getting better at recognizing the run they're going with. Again, there's a little bit of the distinction between power running and elusive running. Maybe we're seeing the defense here be kind of getting wise to that, being able to figure out what running back is doing what, who's touching the ball, and how to stop it. And allowing for short gains like that rather than the 5-6 yarders we've seen earlier in the quarter.
Weather holding, still chilly, but 49 degrees. You know the players down on the field probably have got, they're probably warm. It's not overly cold, getting out there and working. As Burlington comes out, trips left, they roll that way. Alcorn wants to fire, and he goes down. A nice play. Sack ultimately made by Zach Vazowitzki, but all of the Raiders' defense is there.
Excellent pressure by the defensive line, able to tear right through the O-line, get him down the backfield. Quarterback did not even have time to realize where he was before he was on the ground.
And
Excellent rush.
A big loss of 9 yards brings up what is another very long third down for the Rockets. Now only a minute and a half remaining. So now Burlington might slow it down a little bit. You don't want to turn it over and give the Raiders the ball back.
Yeah, very important drive.
5 wide here for the Rockets. Getting that second play call from the sideline. Alcorn looking to pass. Looks left. Fires that way. He's got a man. I believe that is Kerr again. Picks up several yards. Manages to get past the original line of scrimmage. Sets up a manageable fourth down if they decide they want to go that way. Gain of 11.
Yeah, I mean, that's, unfortunate for the Raiders after getting a huge loss like that. You don't really just want to give it back. But, again, that was third down. They're on fourth down now. Still fairly long for a fourth down if they're going for it, that is. We're going to have to see what the decision is.
We do have to sort out this flag situation here. I feel like we're saying that on every other play. It's going to be a face mask on the Raiders. So add 15 and an automatic first down. The last thing the Raiders wanted there.
Yeah, that lack of discipline is what's going to kill you. If you can make those big plays occasionally that are going to go for, big possible double-digit losses, you cannot just give it all back. That's what they're doing. In one play, with a big gain and a penalty, they gave it back and then some.
Kerr, the leading receiver, with 3 catches and 29 yards. We knew that coming in, that he was going to be the primary focus. Very talented, quick receiver. As Alcorn in the spread formation again, fires this time to West, and an absolutely amazing play made there by Colin Calmeida. He's made a few tackles. We've called him Colin Masson a couple of times, but number 8, Calmeida, with a big hit there to jar the ball loose and incomplete.
Yeah, big hit there. That's
as soon as that ball was in Caden West's hands, Kalamba, I believe is his name.
Kalemba, if I'm not mistaken.
The pronunciation is Kalemba. Able to make the hit right as West touches the ball, incomplete. So 5 wide again for the Rockets on this 2nd and 10. Alcorn looks, fires left, and there is Powerizik again.
Pass complete to number 25, Chase Project.
Yeah, even if you're allowing up yardage,
number 49.
Solid defensive play there. Even if you're letting him catch the ball, getting up yards, you get right up on him, taking him down, doing all you can do to prevent that from getting out of hand.
I mean, outside of the penalties, there hasn't been anything negative for the Burlington offense. The only time that they find themselves in longer distance to go is because of a penalty. They had the one sack other than that, and they gave it right back. So the Raiders need to string a couple of bigger stops together, as we're now at a minute remaining before halftime.
Yeah, those few big sacks definitely need to become less occasional.
Ball on the 26, Alcorn looking for someone running around the pocket. Couple flags, looks like it's going to be a hold. Alcorn still got the ball, now around the right edge. That ball falls incomplete.
Flag on the play.
But the two flags do look to be a hold. That should be on the left tackle, Holtgren.
Yeah, we're going to see, like you were talking about, another self-inflicted wound here, most likely, for Burlington. Even when Huntley's not.
Question: Do you decide to take the penalty, back it up 10 like they are, or do you take the fourth down from the 26-yard line? You know, obviously the Raiders are deciding to back this holding call up.
Of course, yeah.
But now they have to replay third down.
Yeah, you're giving them an extra chance. It's definitely a dilemma here.
I think this is the right call.
I do too, because you've seen these manageable third and fourth down situations that are less than 10 yards. Central's done very well on. They have quite a good accuracy rate for those quick plays to pick up the first down. You don't really have a reason to believe that anything different's going to happen if you're the Raiders here. I agree with you.
So before the third and long play, we will have a timeout from Burlington. So we'll take a quick commercial break and be right back with the last 51 seconds of the half.
Bottom floor.
And we are back away the 3rd and 15 play from Burlington.
Yeah, again, like you said, Burlington kind of shooting themselves in the foot in the last play. We're going to see if the Huntley defense can really fully take advantage of and stop the score at the end of the second half.
Caden West motions left to right. Alcorn looking to pass. Fires across the middle. And a nice play made there by Kerr and incomplete. It does hit the ground. And a very late pass interference flag is going to come in. Not necessarily the wrong call, but it came in very late.
Definitely late. Yeah, that's the issue with it. You know, you're hearing a lot of disappointment from this crowd section. Most of that just stems from being late.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a pretty nice play by Zach Rasavi. He can't believe it. He has his hands on his head, can't believe it on the field, but you know, he was right on the hip looking for the ball. There was a little bit of contact before the pass got there. It's just, it can't come out that late, and they're going to wave it off.
Okay.
Good no call there, because if you're going to call it, you have to call it. Don't see it came incomplete, and then you throw the flag.
I think I have a slight disagreement with you here. I think, from a pure technical rule standpoint, that was the right call. Even if it might be a no call most times, I would be okay with being a no call. If you're going to call it, as long as it was a technically sound call, I think you have to stick to your guns. I feel like it maybe sets a little bit of a bad precedent if you're going to overturn a call just because the fans are upset.
Well, you know, one of those back and forths, and the fact that it came out so late, though, you know, it's one of those, is it not? Err on the side of, hey, let's play. How many penalties have we seen in this game already? Like, you know, let's go out there and play. So, incomplete on the 3rd and 15 now brings up 4th and 15, 46 seconds remaining. So, we will get a timeout. It was actually the Raiders that called a timeout. Oh, no, apologies. Central called both of those timeouts. So, for this 4th and long, Burlington wants to think it over again. You know, where are you kind of going? Are you just trying to take a shot and get the first down? Are you trying to force Huntley to have to take a timeout and give him the ball back? Like, where are you kind of going with this if you're Central?
Here's the thing. Obviously, this is an important play here. And what I think we're going to see from Central is they are most likely going to err on the side of caution. And really just do what they can to make sure, they're going to come to terms with the fact that they have to give Huntley the ball back, make sure they give it to him in the worst position possible, rather than just taking a shot downfield. And I'm going with it. They're just going to give Huntley a bad position and just trust their defense to really just lock him down.
I have to say, I am actually a little surprised that they're not even punting. 46 seconds left. Huntley hasn't scored yet. If this is a turnover or, a turnover on downs or literally a turnover, you throw an interception or fumble the ball, Huntley's going to have very good field position, and then you might give them a chance to score with only 46 seconds left. You kick it deep. They haven't shown the ability to go down the field, but here's the offense for Burlington on this 4th and long. Alcorn, 2 wide receivers to the right with a wing back as well. Tight end bending in there as well. The pass is batted down at the line and goes out of bounds, but it could have been a fumble.
From the block. You're ready to take
Missed
over.
that play a little
At the
bit.
49.
But either way, a big play for the Raiders there puts them in good field position to actually get some points on the board here before halftime.
Yeah, they are going to be giving it to him as a fumble rather than a turnover on downs as incomplete, it looks like. And this is an excellent position. This is Huntley offense's first time to just show what they can do. They have not shown, frankly, success in really any meaningful way so far. They have 40 seconds left. They're getting it at midfield. They're only down by 1 score. This is their chance to go into the locker room knowing that the game is in their control. This is the most important drive of the game.
4 wide for Bauer. He looks left, fires that way, and that pass is caught.
Pass
Short gain, but there's Jordan Ruche. So, yeah, it was
3-4.
actually a pooch punt. The
Come on,
quarterback was
Huntley.
trying to pooch punt it, and it was a blocked punt as we are able to go back and see our stream delay. So,
Yeah, interesting thought process there, I suppose, by the Burlington coaches. Definitely didn't work out the way they drew it up.
yeah, we've seen, I believe it was Doug Flutie, Tom Brady. I think Drew Brees might have tried to pull one of those off.
Brees did
Not
once or
a
twice.
popular play that you see the quarterbacks, doing a little pooch punt, but
Gotta
that
say,
time didn't work.
Yeah, got to say, kind of like the spirit, at least, of the Central coaches, trying to bring it back to the game, even if, it might discourage them from trying it again.
But that's the point that doesn't make sense, is you're going to punt the ball away, back up the 15 yards, give yourself all of that room to kick it. If you're kicking the ball right at the line of scrimmage, of course it's going to be blocked. So
Yeah, no reason to.
fortunately for the Raiders now, 2nd and 6 here, 34 seconds remaining. Bauer looks left, fires that way through the hands of the receiver Connor Wade. Not really sure what the issue was there. He was
No, yeah,
open.
fine accuracy there by Bowers. It wasn't an issue of him throwing out of bounds, overthrown, underthrowing. Really just through the hands.
Almost looked like he didn't get his hands up in time, like he
Yeah.
wasn't expecting the ball, because it was a quick 2-yard out route and he was there. So that brings up 3rd and 6 now. Bauer in the shotgun again, 4 wide. And the defense jumps off sides and there's no flag. He jumped
Everybody
completely
called for a
into the
flag
neutral zone and there is no flag on the play. So Raiders have to settle in and call a play here on 3rd and 6. Bauer passing again. Screen pass. The running back is not open. A very nice play by the defensive line of Central. Bauer forced to throw that one away.
Yeah, and that's a shame. No matter what play they had drew up to begin with, it's hard to execute and coming off that. I mean, not only, there's going to be a little bit of a frustration when you see a blatant penalty like that doesn't get called by the other team. But more than that, after seeing that jump, those guys just aren't expected to run the play, but they have to anyway. It's really hard to turn something out of that.
Yeah, very heads-up play from the senior defensive lineman, Alexander Peppers, for Central. Really snuffing out that screen pass, because if he just puts his head down and goes after the quarterback, that screen pass is breaking because he had blockers and he had room. But now, again, little things change the whole outcome, and now the Raiders have to punt again. That drive took less than 20 seconds off the board, and what a punt from the Raiders as that thing bounces at the 11. They could have let it roll out a couple more yards, but, take the good punt inside the 10-yard line. 14 and a half seconds. You got to figure we're just going to kneel it down and go to halftime.
Yeah, most likely. Especially, this hasn't shown to be a team that in, deep ball situation, or has not shown to throw the deep ball in situations where they're long or don't have a lot of time left. I think they're just going to go in the locker room happy with the literal little lead that they have here.
Yep, 14 and a half seconds in what has been a very low-scoring first half. You know, we've kind of seen some defense. You know, both of these teams pride themselves at defense, running the ball, and you know that's just kind of what it's been. Some smash mouth football. Burlington able to win that first half. Lots of penalties that are going to need to be cleaned up on both sides, but as the teams will, well, the Raiders will head to their locker room, warm up a little bit, sort some things out, as the Rockets will head out to the sideline. We'll have the entertainment at halftime, and then the start of the second half. So we'll take a quick break here, be back with a little bit of a recap of that first half, and looking ahead to what is to come in the second half. So stay tuned for Red Raiders versus Burlington Central Rockets football. We'll be right back on Sports Broadcast Solutions. All right, and we are back here as we're going to recap the first half of action there between the Rockets and the Raiders. Very low scoring, lots of defense. Both teams moving the ball. Burlington obviously a little bit better, but Huntley unable to capitalize on a couple of scoring chances. What are the biggest adjustments that need to be made first on the Huntley offensive side of the ball?
So here's the thing: if you just look at the score of this game so far, it looks like it's defensive to the core. 7-0 at the halftime. But that's really not the case if you're watching it. These teams have been offensive. They've been driving the ball. They just, for the most part, aren't getting the job done. So for Huntley, I think the key is just going to be sort of an just gotta go with an all-rounder approach. They've been getting so heavy on the drop back passes that has been, it feels like just logic. That's been almost every single offensive play. And it just isn't working. Whether it's your O-line not being good enough or their D-line being too good, something about it is not clicking. And too much pressure has gotten to the quarterback almost every single time. They've tried it, but that's just what they continue to go with. So whether it's going to be a little bit more of a running game or whether it's just going to be a little bit more under center, quick passes or more screen passes, they're going to have to find something other than just dropping back in the shotgun formation that's going to be able to trip up this defense.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And, we kind of talked about it a little bit that we aren't seeing very much running. And I didn't really realize it was as bad as it was until looking here. Outside of R.A. Fiebig, who is technically a defensive guy that is starting to play offense over the last several weeks, and then your quarterback Bauer, you have Bauer with 4 carries, Fiebig with 3. You don't even have a running back with more than 1 carry.
Yeah, and that is...
and you've only completed 3 passes.
Yeah, so it's lack of offensive movement in general. The Central, I mean, they don't run a pure, misdirection-based running game the way Prairie Ridge or Jacobs does, but they get a little crafty with it. They have the Salmon running back, who is pretty much a pure power back, who has gotten some decent plays in so far. He's breaking off decent yardage. He's had some plays where he barely gets touched at all. But at the same time, they have the more elusive running game that they work into with Pollard. And the defensive line is just going to need to be more aware of these runs, be able to stop it more at the source, rather than just giving up these 4, 5, 6 yard plays, because as you've seen, those add up quickly. And they're going to need to really just stop this before it starts. They cannot, as we saw with the most time-consuming drive in this game so far, Central was able to march the ball pretty much all the way down the field, even though they didn't finish the job. That you could look at that as just sort of being a fluke. You cannot let them gain. You can't let them go down the entire field again. You need to stop these runs at the source and get it within the first couple first downs, if not the first couple plays. Really just nip this drive in the bud, get a little bit of defensive momentum going, and then move to a more diversified offense to try to get back in this game. Because like you're seeing, even though they're both losses at the second half, this is not the Prairie Ridge game. They are down by 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I believe it was 28-0.
Yeah, they were
at halftime in that game. There's a whole much more pressure in the locker room of, okay, first of all, can we do this? Second of all, we need to do it now, and we need to do it quick and whatever. It can be methodical. You don't have to get away from your game plan. You can come out here, you can play a very hard smash mouth level of defense, come back, and you can run the ball, and run the ball, and run the ball before you have to start spreading them out and whatever, because that is going to get your big nasties up front, get into the game a little bit. If you're constantly taking a step back and pass blocking, you're giving the defensive line that urgency to go hit. You have to establish the front line, and the offensive line without the running game hasn't been able to establish that line.
Right, they're giving the defensive line more to work with than the offensive line. And they, like you said, the important thing is urgency. They don't need, and this can be hard as a coach, but they cannot panic. They cannot come out here saying, we're down, we need to get down the field, we need to score. That's not how you have to play this. You can play this, you can be smooth about it. You can come out here thinking of it as a clean slate. You just have to get down the field and score once, and it's tie game.
And the biggest thing is, despite Burlington probably having more penalties, and definitely penalty yardage. I mean, here, how many 3rd and 15 to 20s have? I think there was a first 33 in there. So definitely more penalties and more yardage on the Burlington side of the ball. But there have been so many flags in this game that in such a low, tight scoring game, that penalty discrepancy could be the difference. So you have to play disciplined football, and that's where, again, it goes back to winning in the trenches. Because if you're on the offensive line and you're constantly getting beat by a defensive lineman that is wanting to beat you, and has been because he's the one with the momentum, that's when you start finding yourselves in bad positions. You pick up those holds or you don't make a block. So honestly, I think one of the best things that could happen for the Raiders right now is they come out and right away sack, fumble, interception, turnover, something like that, and just bring the energy back into this place. I mean, here, like I said, it's under 50 degrees. Student section, they're a little cold.
It's already thinning.
You got all the parents in their big jackets. I'm seeing some blankets being opened up. So at least they're in the locker room staying warm. Burlington has to sit out here and, fester in the cold a little
bit of a
bit.
natural advantage, maybe.
But they have to come out here with a more of a sense of urgency and a desire to get back to what has gotten you to this point, not just this season, not even last season, but last 5-10 years. It's been Raiders pounding the ball, and we're just not seeing that. So that's going to be the biggest keys. On the other side, Burlington, moving the ball pretty well, not too many negative plays, really only is the penalties. What do they need to continue to do to put up a couple more points and maybe make this thing out of reach?
Yeah, if you're Burlington, I think you stick with what works. It's not a huge lead, but it is a lead. It's more defensive, right? 1 touchdown first half. It's not like that's great, but you've got decent yardage, and most importantly, you have stopped them from scoring. So I think if you're the offense, you need to continue with that strong run game that Huntley has not had a huge answer to. You need to stick with that more elusive, shifty running. And on the defensive line just need to keep doing their thing. They've been great at, just keep putting on pressure. And if the Huntley offense does continue to try to just force this drop-back passing game, then the defensive line at least, I have no doubt will have no problem continuing to put on the pressure on Braylon Bowers.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the running game for Burlington, and Salmon, only a few carries there, very much the short yardage power guy, but he's picked up a couple of first downs, and then he did get in for the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been Zane Pollock. Excuse me, he's got 7 carries, 53 yards, and even on these couple carries where he picks up 3 to 5 yards, he's making a man miss, he's shifting through, and he's not going down very easily. So it's definitely, a change of pace that the Raiders aren't able to kind of bottle up right now, that you don't want to risk him breaking one off because he's got that speed then to take it all the way. So, yeah, offensively, though, you're right. Just, continue to stick with what works. Keep mixing in the pass because it has worked. Kerr's got a couple of catches. He's been active. West has been involved. Even Powerzik. So,
yeah, they've been very smart so far with the pass game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Huntley defense comes into this game looking at guys like Hayden West and saying, all right, these are the most athletic guys on this offense. They've been the most breakout guys in the last couple of weeks. They've been essential in most of their wins. We just need to guard them. We need to put everything into making sure these guys cannot touch the ball. But very smartly, that's not what Central has been going for. Central has run a very run-heavy offense so far. And when on a once in a blue moon, when they break out that pass game, it's been working.
I think if you're the Raiders defense, there's really you think about it, and there's one play you really hang your hat on in that first half that you can use as momentum into this second half, and it's that sack that came
Absolutely.
on the quarterback rollout towards the end of the half there, that you brought an extra guy. You brought a couple linebackers. I think a DB was even involved there. So bring a little bit more pressure, force, because we've seen Alcorn have to roll out, have to escape, and the plays haven't, materialized after that point. It's when he's able to sit there, take the snap, and either fire it real quick or, just sit back there and have time. When you bring the pressure, force him out of the pocket is when he starts throwing in completions and receivers aren't in their position. So, yeah, the defense for the Raiders, it hasn't been bad. It's just a little bit more magnified when the offense isn't able to hold the ball. So, we mentioned Burlington, they are going to start with the ball to start the half. So, Raiders are going to have to set the tone defensively first, but it's ultimately It's going to come down to the offense because it doesn't matter how many points you let up on defense. You can't win a game scoring 0 points.
Not at all. Yeah, it's the heat's on for both sides of the ball here. You had defensively on paper, you let one, like I said, you let one touchdown in the first half. That looks pretty good, but if you're on the defense, you know something's not totally good. You know you've let up a ton of yards. You know that you've struggled with the run as well as the pass game, and you know that some sort of adjustment needs to be made. And obviously, it's even more clear on the offense with really getting stuffed on almost every drive. So it's not just a clear-cut example of the defense doing their job and the offense not. Both sides of the ball, I feel like, need to come out here more energized than they were before. I think they just really need to think, hey, this is our chance. It feels pretty clear-cut. If we win this game, we're in the playoffs. If we lose, we are not. They need to really just light that fire, make sure they have that real just passion to win, come out with more energy, put on a little bit more pressure, and I think this is a very winnable game.
Very much like that closing point there, partner, because sitting at 5-3, Burlington, Jacobs, the teams above them have already clinched. That 5 wins really makes it a hairy situation. You get to 6 and you really start feeling good. So, yeah, come out with that fire and, don't leave anything up to chance. So with that, we're under 2 minutes before halftime is over. Teams are on the field getting their warm-ups in. So for the next minute and a half or so, we'll take a quick break and we'll bring you the second half of action here in Huntley, Illinois.
Ready?
And we are back with the second half as the Burlington Central Rockets will be awaiting the second half kickoff to try to extend their 7-0 lead. Very low scoring, very defensive, but lots of bend but don't break. So it's going to be an interesting second half to see what Huntley can do with their playoff hopes on the line. Burlington already clinched, so I think if you're Burlington, you want to take momentum into the playoffs. You don't want to, sit back and let this thing get away from you. But it's definitely on the mind. So,
yeah, maybe not treating it as the most important game of the season, but I definitely don't think it's why you just want to give up either. Seeding's still a matter. And like you said, momentum is always a huge part of high school football, especially when it comes to playoff time.
Yeah, every win, every point that you score, every team that you beat matters. It's all based on the combined wins of your opponents, and then the combined wins of the opponents that beat you and that you beat. And so, yeah, lots of different factors that go into seeding. Never really want to just throw a game away like week 17 or week 18 now in the NFL where they rest all the starters. That's not necessarily the game that you're in when you're playing playing high school and college football. So we're about ready to get the kickoff of the second half underway here from the Raiders. Kerr and West back deep as well as Pollock. That goes to the middleman, Pollock. Backs up to the 4, takes it up midfield, and good coverage there from the Raiders. Set Burlington up inside their own zone. 1st and 10.
Yeah, you see, can be a pretty dangerous man, especially against containing him, making sure you're not giving him too good of a field position going into your first drive and second.
Jackson Alcorn, the quarterback here. Still well under 100 yards passing, but it's been timely. They picked up some big pass plays when they needed them the most. Then running the ball has found a lot of success with Pollock.
Sure, the pass game hasn't been the star, but it's working when it's needed to.
Pollock, the running back on this one, gets the carry up the middle, wrapped up and brought down short gain for 3. Nice play there from the defensive line of the Raiders.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of early signs here. This defensive line applying a little bit more pressure, able to stuff these runs when they can. And like we just talked about at halftime, that is going to be the absolute key to not letting this offense really just take the game and take the reins of it and really run away.
Burlington spreads it out here on 2nd and 6 with Pollock, the lone running back to the left of Alcorn. They fake the handoff to him and they swing it out, and that ball is caught and dropped. Picked up for a fumble for the Raiders, and there's the turnover that we were looking for to start the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. That is exactly what we're talking about at halftime. That is exactly what we needed
A huge play made there by the quarterback of the Raiders, that's Zach Bezweski, who picked up the sack earlier. We were talking about needing momentum to get the fans into the second half, and here they are with the big fumble recovery.
Right, they needed to make sure that this offense knows exactly what their place is. They know that they don't have total control of this defense and that they can play.
Caden West, the screen man on that one, had it in his hands. With the ball jarred loose, Raiders take over inside the red zone. Bauer in the shotgun, Dvorak the running back. Connor Wade the motion man, they fake the handoff there. Bauer up the middle, breaks one tackle, swallowed up and tackled down.
Yeah, not much there for him. And not the most elusive we've seen Bauer before.
But I think he might have missed Connor Wade there on the end around, but maybe not necessarily the play. I do apologize. That was Noah Van Devorde on the motion, not Connor Wade. He's the slot man to the top of the screen. Dvorak, the running back to Bauer's right. Grant Tucker, the fullback, in the game now as well. Man off on the middle of Dvorak. Very nice jump there on 2nd down. Much more manageable 3rd down. That's what the Raiders have been missing offensively.
Yeah, that's what they started it. Solid run up the middle game. And just looking like just bringing that in this early in this important situation. Looks like that's going to get
Dvorak again. Fights through, pushes forward. The Raiders faithful thinks they have it, and now some extracurriculars has a flag on the play. As the offensive lineman for the Raiders, Jaden Capito, involved in some ground scuffling. Doesn't look like Dvorak got in the end zone either.
Nah, even without a flag, I don't think that's going to work out the way some of these fans might have thought it did.
Just at the goal line, so we'll have to see what the flag is, but it would be a 1st down. We have a personal foul on Burlington. So that will be an automatic 1st down. Half the distance to the goal, so but you can choose to take the yardage on the carry. So rather than half the distance to the goal, would have put them at like the 2.5. The run play from Dvorak gets them down to the goal line, so an extra 1.5 yards there.
They don't even need the flag to get great position.
This is where the Raiders need to find a punch into the end zone. Not even 2 minutes into this second half, this would be exactly what the doctor ordered out of halftime.
Yeah, just exactly like we were talking about. Not only the defense coming out with a big stop, but right here they have the potential to use their running game and incorporating it into getting their first score.
Flowers for the first time this game. They go quarterback sneak, push up the middle, looking like Jalen Hurts there, but not sure he got in. It's going to depend on the spot. Touchdown! Raymond Power on the 1-yard receiver. Now Raiders are ahead 1 away. Times came up.
Perfect start for the Raiders. Stop. Not only did they take defensive stop, not only did they take care of the Sunday defense, they took full advantage of it. The potential here to make it a tie ball game, really turn up the heat in this game.
Snap on the PAT. Kick up and go through. And a roughing the kicker penalty as the holder was brought down in there. Zach was sad with the holder was experienced some contact after that kick, so the kick will count. 7 points for the Raiders and a penalty waiting. Very positive start to this second half if you're the Raiders. You come out, you get the turnover on defense right away, and you waste no time punching it into the end zone.
Just like we were talking about, a lot of these games are all about momentum, and the Raiders are coming out with it, just like we're talking about, they like that fire. They come out with the energy that looked like they were lacking in the beginning of this game, and just showing they can take care of business here. Really showing really showing the full capabilities of their run game that looks like they are finally starting to incorporate, as well as turning up the pressure defensively, particularly on the defensive line, to get more pressure to Alcorn, put it in uncomfortable situations. Absolutely perfect start for both sides of the ball.
So just over 2 minutes to tie this ball game back up in the second half. So now, Huntley with the momentum, this is where you build off of it. You come out on defense, get another stop, put some points up on the board again. And now the whole script of how that first half was feeling is now out the window, and the Raiders are in control. So you're looking for another stop here as we await this kickoff. Skyward towards Howard, fields it as his own goal line, steps into the end zone, and then be a touchback. The Rockets will take over at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, that's not to say that is the first touchback of the game so far. Again, that is based off the punts. You know, there were a lot of punting in the first half. This is some of the worst field position that they have actually given the Rockets so far. So now that the Rockets will be pushed back a little bit, more of a traditional far back field position, we're going to see what the Raiders can do if they can just stop this before it starts.
Much more bunch formation here. 2 receivers to the left of Elkman. Pollock up the middle. Has some room. Bounces off one tackle. Keeps fighting forward. Finally dragged down, but not after a gain of 11 yards. Out of maybe 10. But for sure, first down there.
Yeah, real solid pickup after the failure of the first drive. Getting back to that offensive run game success with Pollock that Central was really showcasing in the first half.
Alcorn into shotgun again. We're keeping the tight end bending in that wing formation. As they go Pollock again, has some room. He's grabbed and swung down. Not for another DCE there. Ethan Albertson, the defensive lineman on the tackle.
Yeah, we're already starting to see this Central offense, get their groove back a little bit. After obviously the major loss and fumble that they saw in the first drive. they're not really letting you discourage them, which is a very important thing. You cannot, especially in high school football, as we talk about fans and momentum, you cannot let bad plays and turnovers really discourage you and throw off your whole game. It doesn't seem like they're having an issue with that.
Same formation now flipped, wide side of the field, too wide for Alcorn. That is west of the motion man.
Pollock again up the middle, not this time. Snuffed out, big play made.
Yeah, again, the type of pressure that we said the defensive line needs to start exerting. Really an excellent play there. That's exactly the type of stuffing that you need to do. Even if you're not going to get big sacks and fumbles and interceptions every play. That's not going to happen. That's not what the defensive line needs to do. You just need to put on a little bit of pressure and nip plays and run plays in the butt before they start. That's what they just do.
3rd and 3, 5 wide for Alcorn in the shotgun. Looks left, fires left, and there is Powierzek for the first down. There's those quick slant routes that when you're playing off coverage, you run them right to the first down marker and pick it up every time.
Yeah, like you said, it's almost like when they're not using their powerful passing targets and they're not using their pass game at all, it feels like they can almost catch the Raiders off guard a little bit with quick slant routes like that to pick up first downs.
Come on, G!
Offense chugging along here again for the Rockets. Alcorn turns and hands that for running back Salmon this time. Finds a hole, bounces it out right, manages to pick up a decent gain of 4. And that's, partner, that's been the key to the game all night long for the Rockets. Is positive yardage, not only on first down, but just on almost every play. If you're not getting anything, at least you're getting 2 or 3 yards.
It's all about the little plays for them. They have not been breaking off huge, game-changing plays. That's just not their style. That's not the offense they're running and not the offense they're really trying to run. They are concerned about getting these quick 4, 5, 6 yard, little chunk plays that can almost be more damaging over time.
And not as much spread formation as they keep bringing in Noah head one to kind of play that like wing back behind the tight end bending. It's now bending come off. This is 3rd and 5 after a short gain. So maybe spread it back out. Henry Gearing, the running back, also coming off the field. Spread formation again here for the Rockets. Trips to the right, Alcorn in the shotgun. Alcorn looks right there,
Steps up in the pocket, dancing around now. Can't find anybody open, still going backwards. Finally fires it out of bounds. I think that could be up for the conversation of a potential grounding. He moved around a lot in the backfield, and that's really outside the tackles. Doesn't look like they're going to call.
Yeah, it looks like
bring up 4th and 5.
Yeah, very possible. Looks like a no call there. I'm guessing they're just giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying you're far back enough outside the pocket to where they're not really.
No, the pocket goes forever.
They're too far back, or more far back. I'm guessing they're not too concerned with that one.
So, 4th and 5 now brings up a punt. So the Raiders defense, they get the turnover, and now they get a stop, get the ball back after scoring a touchdown. So, their catch is muffed, bobbled, but it does look like the Raiders were able to get on it. Bullet dodged there.
Yeah, potential for a very ugly play when they get stuffed out.
So as the Raiders offense takes over at about the 29-yard line, we have 5:44 remaining here in Huntley
against the Burlington Central Rockets. We'll be right back. Just a quick break there. This is the first down play is a power keeper around the right edge. A stiff arm forces forward.
a late hit out of bounds. And that's going to be a big killer for the Rockets. Not a smart play.
Yeah, see a couple of Rockets are celebrating about that one. Must not realize that they committed that penalty. Yeah, again, with the Rockets shooting themselves in the foot. It seems so far they've been better about it in the second half than they were in the first. But those are the kinds of self-inflicted wounds you cannot afford to keep giving up.
That's the linebacker McCade now who's besides himself. He still is out there freaking out over that call. But nonetheless, 15 yards and an automatic first. For the Raiders, they take over at the 39 now. Another fake handoff, a swing pass out to the left. And that could be the receiver, either Vanga or Wade. It is Connor Wade on the reception, able to sneak his way up for a gain of 8.
Yeah, and I love to see offensively that the Raiders are running. We've seen the tendency of the Raiders to, after they have failures offensively in the first half, just really continue grinding it out and keep going with what doesn't work in the second. But no, we're seeing major adjustments here that are going to prove to be potentially game winners.
It still came out trips to the right on that one, but still running the ball, throwing in a little play action. Offensive line got beat on that play, but
Wave your arm! First down!
fans are wanting a first down.
Yeah, contrary to the lovely man you might be hearing a few rows ahead of us, it looks like it is not going to be a first down.
It's close, but it looks like we might get another measurement coming out.
Yeah, we try that one.
Yeah, it looks like Dr. Tristan Morgan is going to jog out the first down marker. And that's the headline linesman, Jason Demotica, making the call to measure. It's going to be first down. Wasn't the prettiest of plays, it almost felt like they went backwards, but managed to fall, push forward enough to pick it up. Maybe we should just let the Huntley fans determine the chain game, and we don't have to bring out the sticks.
Yeah, we finally found our technological solution here.
You can eyeball it from the opposite side of the field. Power shotgun. He's going to keep it and take it up the middle himself. He's got room in a hole. Falls forward. And a first down. Raiders offense finding their rhythm now on the ground.
Excellent, just up the middle, elusiveness, Brandon Bowers, the type of run game that he has had success with in most of these Huntley wins is finally starting to be incorporated here in the third quarter. Looks like the Raiders coming out with Bowers in the shotgun trips to the left here.
Again here, and that's Ari Feebig. He's found some success, found some goals on the ground throughout this game. Big play threat every time the ball was in his hands. Picked up 4 on first down. And we ticked to 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Raiders offense picking up some steam now. They're going to give it to Feebig again. He's got room around the left edge. He's got a hole. Flag on the play. He is in the end zone.
Still waiting for the call.
The defense of the Rockets seems to believe that it's the Raiders' offense.
Still awaiting as all the players get back to the line.
And holding on the Raiders, so a big penalty there negates the touchdown, backs the Raiders up on second down. So not the play that the Raiders were looking for after such a bouncing drive. This sets them back.
Yeah, they're gonna have, again, just like we haven't talked about with how Central adjusted after their first unfortunate first drive. Obviously, huge play. Everybody got fired up, thought they were about to take the lead. Huge penalty, self-inflicted wound to take them back. Looks like that might be another flag on the Raiders.
No, they took it back to the original and then back on the second. So it'll be a second and 16. Didn't need a personal foul.
Yeah, it looks like it was another snap.
Yeah, definitely something going on there for the Raiders. Now they are really backed up. And just like we saw with Burlington in the first half, now the Raiders face what is sure to be almost a second and third.
Tricky situation here. You're gonna have to hopefully not let that Raiders setback affect them mentally. That's still a hard situation to overcome.
Now second and 24, he's got a man. And there's Connor Wade again, not getting the hands up in time to snag that one. He was there was a little bit of a window, but not able to bring it in.
And I do apologize again, there was no hand of order. I'm getting these two guys mixed up. The 13s and the 15 are pretty similar.
Yeah, trying to get his hands up there, did his best. Unfortunately, was not able to connect the fouls in that one.
Another receiver, Connor Huntley, also in the game. He's in the slot to the top of the trips. Fumble after the screen pass there, and that is not what the Raiders wanted. Jordan Aruche on the screen pass coughs it up and turns the ball over. So what it was on the flag was Feebig scored and then got a personal foul. Yeah, with the referees, you had the hold, and then you had the personal foul, and then you get the fumble. So 3 out of the 4 nightmare plays for the Raiders.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was an absolute buzzkill to set it down there. Raiders coming out. Seems like they're having an awesome third quarter. Really good, really just getting the ball down the field and this drive thing. Keep shooting themselves in the foot.
And it was a promising drive. They got inside the 30. The Raiders turn it over. And now Pollock
around the left edge. And man, if he could have picked up just one block from Lucas Kerr on the outside, he was gone. But luckily, the Raiders defense able to snuff it out and keep him at least contained to not the end zone.
Yeah, still obviously a bigger play than you're hoping for. The first one of the drive could have been worse for the Raiders, but still first down and then some, no doubt.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed with the way that Zane Pollock ran the ball. 12 carries, now 88 yards this evening. He is not done, and he looks only getting stronger as they go to him again up the middle. Short game, but still manages 3.
Yeah, not had much success, but really showed a little bit of strength there. Probably more so than you would expect from such a little guy. World changing. Still had a lot of the pressure on him. Able to make something out of it.
Temperatures starting to cool down now as we're down to 47 degrees here. So a couple degrees less than it was at game time. Starting to get a little later. So it's all about staying warm and keeping those muscles loose. As Alcorn takes the shotgun snap, looks right, fires that way. Over the head. Very good coverage there from the corner, Zach Sally.
Yeah, Kid was pretty smothered there. Also not the most accurate pass, really just a little bit of a flash of contention on both ends. Not really make a connection there.
Now brings up 3rd and 7. This is one of the longer third down situations that the Rockets have faced. So it's going to be important for the Raiders to pick up another stop here and force a punt.
Right, the Rockets have been able to use their run game to at least get third downs with less than 5 yards to go. This is not the case, so we're going to have to see how we can adjust to it.
I can see a run here with Pollock. They do go up the middle of Pollock, puts his head down, falls forward. And the theory around that is it now brings up 4th and 3, 4th and 3.5, but much more manageable than what the 3rd and 8 would have been.
Right, obviously they're really keeping their heads.
Now 4th and 3, the Raiders offense the Rockets offense is going to stay out of the field. The Raiders student section getting going now. Alcorn in the shotgun. Hard count, the Raiders don't move. They go for their second play. They got Noah Hedlund in it, the wingback. Alcorn looks right, fires that way. He's got a man on a slant, and there is Kerr. Open and down for the first down.
Absolutely huge play. Most likely the most important central passing play we've seen so far. Like I was saying, they were able to keep their heads. They stayed cool. they were faced with a longer third down than they had for the most part been shown so far. Able to really just have faith in their running back, make it a more manageable third down, and then they let the passing game do the rest.
And that's their play. When they need 3 to 5 yards, they go that slant route. This time it was Kirk. It's been Powerizik a couple of times before. So now the fresh first down pistol formation. Pollock up the middle on the handoff. And again, it falls forward. Solid first down gain 4. And another flag on the play. It's got to be at least the 15th flag tonight.
Yeah, it's almost constant. It's like you can't escape a set it down without there being some kind of flag thrown.
And it feels like it's a lot of these situations that it's the team beating themselves. Whether it's Burlington picking up a couple of penalties and forcing themselves into some third and longs, or it's the Raiders getting another unsportsmanlike penalty that's going to cause almost a half the distance to the goal here. You pick up one in the end zone after what should have been a touchdown. Yes, you held, but take medicine and move on.
Yeah, it's almost a total lack of discipline we've seen from the Raiders, and it's not something we've seen, at least not this strongly in most of the games this season, of constant unsportsmanlike conduct. That's not a big issue the Raiders have faced, but they cannot stop shooting themselves in the foot here. If they could just get rid of those couple unsportsmanlike conduct calls, this game looks very different. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean here, turnovers are one apiece. That's even. Both teams are, doing fairly well with the football, playing decent defense, but it's the penalties that are killing drives, just like that one of the Raiders on the previous offensive drive. So now trips, they go, Alcorn fakes the handoff to Pollock, keeps it, fights forward across the 5-yard line now.
Yeah, he's going to get most of the way to goal there. Last play we're going to get the end zone.
Yep, as we are approaching the end of the third quarter here, 45 seconds remain. We're only going to have another play as there's only 30 on the play clock. Approaching the end of this third quarter, still just a 7-7 ball game here, but the Rockets threatening with it.
It's going to be a handoff up the middle, but it's going to be mostly stuffed by the Raiders' defensive line. Not too much room.
And that was the bigger power back. Salmon on the carry there, another short gainer. 10 seconds remain in the quarter. We will see if Alcorn wants to get the snap. He's not getting under center, so we are going to take this to the end of the third quarter here in Huntley, Illinois. The Huntley Red Raiders are tied with the Burlington Central Rockets 7-7. We will be back with fourth quarter action here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Alright, we're just about back into action here in the fourth quarter, and we got to jump around playing as it always does going into the fourth quarter, and I think we said this the last time we were on the call, no student section of the Raiders were jumping around.
No, they most certainly did not keep it down here for this last game of the regular season.
It really is a shame. I understand it's cold, but jump around, you're going to get warmer. So,
Here's the song.
7-7 game, it's the final home game of the year, final regular season of the game, or of the season. So, should be a very fun and exciting last 12 minutes of this game. As Alcorn under center, they go tush of their own this time.
from up here, it does not look like across the line.
Have to agree, not as much push on that one, and it is going to be short. He might have even lost it here.
Possibly. This is going to be fourth down. This is an absolutely huge play. Because it's been tied up for most of the second quarter so far. Or most of the second half. Most of the second half. Coming right into the fourth quarter. It does look like the ball's actually moved back. It looks like it's going to be close to the two. Almost edging the 3 line here. That's our target. You can actually see the two push to get it in and out. This is absolutely huge. It's going to end up as either a touchdown. Finally pushing Central into the second lead.
The Burlington Central Rockets are bringing out the field goal unit to try to take a 3-point lead. Now keep in mind, just a minute and 9 seconds into the second half was the Raiders were able to tie this game up. Now looking for the breaking score. We do have a flag whistle blown dead before the kick. It was good and it had distance, but we await the penalty.
On the rise.
So that's going to back them up 5 yards. Now, if I'm anyone here, I'm not necessarily concerned, especially if I'm Burlington, but hey, kicker still has to go out there and do it again.
He does it, and a lot of times when you're mostly watching pro ball, even in college, it's hard to remember how big of a deal kicks are in high school. It's far from guaranteed, no matter what the distance is. Even if the last man some distance on it, I'm not sure I would count on it again.
We've had the most 50-plus yard field goals ever made in the NFL for like 7 weeks. That is not the case here in high school.
Bad snap even, but it's picked up off the ground, put down, and kicked through. So that is going to give Burlington the lead here, 10-7. As we will take a quick break as we await the kickoff to the Raiders here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. From the Rockets, the Red Raiders await the kickoff, down 10-7 with 10 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in this game. Still a long way to go, but the Raiders needing to find some more success on offense, as that kick is going to be a touchback, and Bauer and the Raiders offense takes over again at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, another touchback here. Not a super common sight in this game for all the kicks in the second touchback. And after a really devastating last drive that we saw with them continuing to shoot themselves in the foot with multiple penalties on one play, they giving up a fumble almost immediately after, they're going to have to just shake that off, make sure that that does not affect them in any sort of meaningful way.
Yeah, lots of success on the ground before the fumble. As they go back to it here, Dvorak up the middle with a very short gain, brought down only 2 yards.
Yeah, not the best run we've seen from him tonight, but again, we're going to have to make sure, mediocre or even, bad plays don't deter them from continuing this run game that has overall had success so far.
Bauer this time going to drop back and pass, fires it to the left side, and there is Jordan Aruche, able to toe tap it inbounds at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, it's a great play by Aruche there. Maybe not the most difficult physical catch ever actually, but being that close to the edge and being covered, making sure you can keep the ball inbounds and secure the gain, very important, and he did it well.
Dvorak after 1 carry for 3 yards in the first half, now up to 5 carries for 18 yards. Fakes the handoff this time, and that ball is through the hands. I believe that was Hockmuth, and it looked to be intercepted. It's going to depend on the call. if the defender was able to get his hands underneath it.
Sure, we're still waiting on it.
Everyone seems to think that it is. The Raiders' offense is coming off the field. Ball is spotted. There's still no official signal, but it does look like there's a general consensus here that it was an interception. So back-to-back drives with a turnover for the Raiders sets Burlington up with great field position to really extend this lead now.
Yeah, that's just everything you can't have happening. I mean, it seems obvious. Obviously, you don't want intercepting this offense, but they're coming back off a momentum-killing drive and with another turnover.
And the shifty Pollock gets by a couple of defenders, breaks a tackle, and really picks up a good yardage on first down to set up another first down situation. But you're really seeing a different mindset from the Rockets, especially into the second half. A lot less spread formations with 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. A lot more wing backs with Noah Headland in tight. There he is again on the left side.
Most definitely, yeah. Different approach to running that might be starting to throw the defense off.
Caden West in the slot. They fake the handoff up the middle, and that pass intended for Powers-Zick, but incomplete. A nice play by the corner, Justin Jacobson.
Yeah, solid coverage there, making sure they're not letting the pass game really get the better of him.
You just gotta, if you're the Rockets, you're having success on the ground. I'm really not sure why you're going to the air as much as you are, especially leading. You own the clock now.
It certainly doesn't seem necessary, does it?
But hey, if you're the Raiders, please stop the clock for me. You trust your pass defense. The Raiders' pass defense has shown up time and time again all year long. Caden West, the motion man, takes the handoff on the jet sweep. Fights through one tackle and is wrestled down right at the line of the game. So now 3rd and long. This is another situation. Raiders need a big stop.
Yeah, the Rockets have not, fortunately for the Raiders, been all that comfortable seemingly in these 3rd and long situations. So they're going to need to continue to apply the sort of pressure we've seen, such as on that 3rd and 7 play.
It's such a methodical approach from the Rockets offense that they take a very good chunk of the play clock every time. When they're on offense, it's just kind of slow. When you look up and you go, oh, okay, well, we're already under 9 minutes now before the end of the game. So
that's why those quick 4, 5, 6 yard runs can always be more dangerous than big plays, because it's hard to realize how big of an effect they have.
They do go back to the air on this one. Has time to pass. Looking around, fires it deep. Got a man. Inbounds. Got his feet. And that is going to be the first down. Lucas Kerr, their best receiver, he is hyped up on the sideline as he made a huge play on 3rd down to get his feet in bounds.
Absolutely one of the biggest pass plays we've seen so far. Absolutely stood down the field. It looked like he was completely lined up. Like we said, this quarterback, the outward, he does not seem to be the absolute best under pressure that we see. And that was some of the best pressure we've seen defense try to put on him so far. And he's really just able to adjust to it and make his best pass yet.
29 yards there on 3rd and 10. Sets the Rockets up. 1st and goal from the 4. 8 minutes and 42 seconds left. This is really feeling like desperation time that the Raiders need to hold to a field goal. Shotgun formation again. This time the running back Salmon, but before the play we are going to get a whistle and a timeout from the Rockets. So before we get to this 1st and goal play, we'll take a quick break here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. And in the 1st and goal play, pass roll out right, intended for tight end Matthew Bending, but tight coverage from Zach Rasavi breaks that one up, brings up second.
Yeah, we've seen some good coverage from Rasavi tonight. Able to defend those tight end, quicker passes that Burlington keeps liking to try in the red zone. Once again, he's not going to let that go through.
Rasavi, the one involved on that pass interference call in the first half that the flag got picked up on. Another solid play there. Rasavi, he has been a very key contributor, both offensively, defensively, and special teams since his sophomore year. So, a 3-year starter making an impact here in what is likely to be his final home game as a Red Raider. Snap is slightly bobbled out and looking, fires it into the end zone, jump ball! And incomplete. It was actually the receiver Kerr that managed to have the best chance at it, but bounces in and out third and goal.
Yeah, it's a continued, very nice pass defense from the Raiders, especially the red zone. So they're a little bit taken aback, a little bit starting to get better about it. If, we're trying to roll pass games to get in the red zone, and Raiders can keep, they're not really looking to
Third and goal, and maybe it's. I think this is two-down territory if you're the Rockets. What is a field goal going up 6 going 8 for you?
Right, touchdown still takes the lead either way.
Touchdown basically puts this game out of reach. 8.5 minutes left. Raiders are really going to have to do something spectacular. Sam and the running back, they're going to give it to him. Not a lot working there. Still picks up 2 yards though, so now it's 4-2. If you still don't pick this up if you're the Rockets, the Raiders have to go 98 yards.
Yes. To be honest with you,
Take a chance to put it away.
Right. The last time the Rockets were in a similar situation to this when they went for a field goal, I wasn't the biggest fan of the call. That's not how I would play it personally. But I think that the coach is simply outside of his mind if he's not going to go for it here, and it looks like he is.
They will. They will also stay in the shotgun with Zachary Salmon, the running backs. They go power here, bunch formation, twins to either side. A little triple reverse, the quarterback is open, and there's a touchdown as the receiver powers it, throws a little Philly special out to Jackson Allen for the touchdown, and that was the Nick Foles Super Bowl touchdown play there. Burlington takes 16-7 lead, PAT penalty.
Yeah, a little bit of stab to feel from that one. But absolutely no Huntley player even close to the quarterback there. I don't think anybody on that defense could have even dreamed that play.
Hey, that's why they call him trick plays, partner, the entire defense. Because here, your linebacker, your safety, you have your guy. You have your tight end, you have your running back, whatever. Nobody's really manned up on the quarterback, so all of that moving around, quarterback wide open, PAT up and good. 10-point deficit now for the Raiders. 7 minutes and 47 seconds remaining before the end of this one. We'll take another quick commercial break. After that touchdown and a 10-point lead for the Rockets, they get ready to kick it back deep to the Raiders, who really need to find a way to put some points up on the board and relatively quickly. The only points the Raiders managed was after the turnover. They only had to go 21 yards.
Yes.
So, not able to really sustain drives as they're going to get Zach Rasavi on a very good return. Making an impact. They're in the special teams after a big play on defense.
Yeah, we saw from him before earlier, again, just getting a really great opportunity with a little bit of space to show what he can do from a, elusiveness standpoint. Yeah,
little hobbled as he's kind of limping off the sideline. Not necessarily something you want to see, but
I tell you what, this offense is going to need to pull out whatever they can to try to get down the field here with the kind of deficit that Central just handed them.
he's not thrilled as Dr. Savvy is, but he is able to walk on his own power. Trips to the left of Bauer, he looks to the single man right, and that's Wyatt Fleck, his first catch in this ball game.
He's been their deep ball threat, their jump ball, kind of one of their best receivers, especially over the last several weeks. Very quiet in this one so far.
Yeah, it looked like he was turned into a little bit of a go-to, just a more integral part of this offense, but they've not shown him a ton of love yet.
Usually out wide left, they go Dvorak on the handoff. Nothing doing there as he's swung down. Might result in a first down. It is. Decent gain of actually ended up being 5. So, and they managed to pick up more than I thought. Raiders offense moving much quicker now. Clock does stop after the first down, similar to college. Quick rollout, and Wyatt Fleck slipped and fell down as that pass was intended. So it flew over his head, flag on the play. This is going to be a big killer if it's going to be on the Raiders. And it is. They hold on the Raiders, backs them up 10 yards, replays the first down. 7:25 now remains. Raiders need to find a way to move the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Whether it, I mean, as we were talking about earlier, they weren't really having any success with the drop back passing. They kept trying to grind out in the first half. And when that's not working, it makes it a little bit harder in situations like this. But they have to do what they need to do to get down the field.
Bauer goes out left, still looking, another flag on the play. Still looking, and finally just decides to make the right decision, throws it away. And a couple of flags on the play, bodies all over the place. So some things to be sorted out here.
Stop the clock.
Another penalty on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be another hold. So, back-to-back holding calls now brings up a first and 30.
And it's always tricky to say from up here, because I get it. When you're down there, when you're in the game, you've been handed this pretty bad situation from the recent drive. You get frustrated, frankly, and you tend to take that aggression out, and you just can't. You gotta stay disciplined, but it's gonna be a fumble off the snap, it's gonna get recovered. Another fumble.
A first and 30 play. Bowers loses the snap, picks it up, fumbles the ball. Burlington picked it up and managed to take it back to the 15-yard line. So an absolute nightmare play on what was already a nightmare situation.
Yeah, I tell you what,
And it was a nightmare evening for the Raiders.
couldn't quote about myself. I mean, that was a pretty stupid strategic football play right there. I mean, one snap, drops it, picks it up, fumbles twice in about 5 seconds, and obviously did not recover it.
Here, we talked about all the momentum coming out of halftime. Get the big stop on defense. Check, got the turnover. Okay, now you go score a touchdown. Check. Then they even managed to get another stop. And then their next 3 offensive possessions have gone fumble, interception, fumble. That just can't happen when you were in a one-score game.
I can the start of this half started out as good as possible. Like, picture perfect. There is no better way for this team to come out.
The Raiders have played 1 good minute of football in the second half.
Yes. It was a great minute, but that's it.
And you can hear the Burlington fans from all the way on the other side of the field chanting that this game is over.
Dead quiet from this side, though.
As it has been, for the majority of the game, I feel like,
Yeah, it's not like they were overflowing with energy when the game was, tied.
No, I feel like the fan section, they come out with energy to begin the game, and then it just kind of slowly fades away. That, the whole atmosphere is, as that pass falls incomplete, the whole atmosphere is getting loud and using up home field advantage. It was a 7-7 game. Goal line situations, and it was quiet. So.
I can tell you, in the first half, it was a little bit warmer than it is now. The Raiders only down by a touchdown in the half, and even then, you start to see fans just flowing out.
Yeah, the stands in front of us, the parents, I understand understand. Kids, this is for them. This is a high school experience. Come out for these fans, though. Even the parents are getting out of here too. So 5 wide now for the Rockets on 3rd and 7. We have 6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in this game, and it's, if not already out of reach, one more score would surely put the nail in the coffin. As Elkhorn steps up, finds an open receiver, believe that is Kerr in the end zone, and it is Caden West for the touchdown to extend the lead 23-7.
Yeah, excellent reception. That's what we have to say. And excellent throw too. Really, I mean, probably one of the more just better throws.
Yeah, good throw on the run right after stepping up through the pocket. Caden West doing a good job of shielding the defender away and making that catch through contact. So now an extra point awaits to make this a 24-7 ball game. And there's 24-7. Burlington's fans are sure letting the Huntley faithful hear it. So 6 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in this ball game. We will take one more quick commercial break before we take you to the end of this game here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. We are back for the final 6 minutes of this ball game, with the Huntley Red Raiders trailing 24-7 to Burlington Central. As that kickoff goes into the end zone for a touchback, Raiders offense takes back over again at the 25-yard line. 3 straight drives with a turnover for the Raiders has really dug themselves a big hole that I'm just not sure that they can get out of, partner.
Yeah, at this point, it does start to seem a little bit out of reach. If it wasn't before that touchdown, that is. But yeah, like you said, come out from the locker room as promising as possible. Start with the big turnover on defense, get a touchdown on offense, and then bang, 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 turnover, and there's just no coming back to that.
Dvorak carry up the middle, wrestled down, gain of about 5. So here, this is one of those things that if you could have gotten 5 yards to chunk from Dvorak earlier in the game, you wouldn't have found yourself in the position that you're in. But one carry throughout the entire first half.
Yeah, it took them just too long to figure where he needed to go. Just took them way too long to figure out just what works about their offense.
And Dvorak in the motion. Shortening in there, brings up 3rd down. 5:20. Clock really ticking away now. We've got Burlington's fans with their flashlights. And that's what a student section is supposed to look like, folks. Bauer in the shotgun, twins to his left. He looks that way, holds onto it, and it's not Bauer anymore. It's actually all the backups. So in this final game on this senior night, I don't have the number 12 on my stat sheet, so let me find you who that quarterback is.
I do like the sentiment, though. They recognize they're probably not coming back from this game. It's senior night. These are guys that maybe haven't started on varsity throughout their entire high school career. This is their last night probably playing football ever. Just give them it. Give them their stats. Why not?
It looks like that's going to be Carson Rowe, the sophomore, in at quarterback. So actually,
taking the senior Bauer out on senior night, down 24-7.
You see, that makes it actually a much more questionable decision.
You love senior night, get all your seniors, out on the field and whatnot, but it's a much better feeling when that's happening when you're winning. And as a locked punt now, as the second half nightmare of offense continues, with now 3 straight turnovers and now a blocked punt on the last 4 drives after a touchdown from the Raiders.
It's just one thing after another. It's like they got. It's like just not doing anything right at this point.
When you start getting some backups in, and momentum is, changed and is permanent. That defeated looks many different ways, and Huntley's defeated is a lot of turnovers right now.
Yep, absolutely. They just started off with the turnovers still fairly early in the half and just could not get themselves out of that funk.
Definitely not the end of the season that the Raiders were looking for. At those 5 wins, as there's Pollock again up the middle. Have to see him in a couple of drives. Back in. But if you're the Raiders, not the way that you wanted to finish up your season. You got the 5 wins. That is like very much on the brink of the playoffs.
This is the game we would have done it. Yeah, a win here against a solid team for your 6th win of the season almost guarantees you a spot in the playoffs, if not fully guarantees you, and they just couldn't put it away.
And the worst part about it is, did Burlington beat them pretty much wire to wire? Yes. But it was close. They were in it. They were play here, play there, and the whole thing is different, but snowball effect.
Yeah, for most of the game, it always felt very winnable for the Raiders.
Until it wasn't.
Like,
Pollock up the middle there, short game.
they kept it, even if offensively they weren't great, they kept it tight in the first half. Came out swinging in the second, had one bad play, and then just never recovered.
I mean, we were 7-7 going into the 4th quarter, partner.
Yeah.
The situations were there, but it was the big penalties, and then it was the turnovers that Huntley was just never able to fully come back from. So, Burlington, with this win now, though, they jump to 6-3, or sorry, 7-2. They jump to 7-2, and they're very much atop the standings in the Fox Valley, and they're going to find themselves in a playoff picture. There's Holland getting into the end zone and really just starting to make this score ugly for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, much. Even if it be, you could assume a loss from a while ago, it's just turned uglier and uglier. No doubt about it. Turned into a little bit of a less respectful loss for the Raiders than you might see.
It is an insane foul game for Burlington. That was his 19th carry that he finally was able to plunge into the end zone, which will most likely end his night with 129 total yards rushing. Just no answers from the Red Raiders defense against the shifty running back. And that's kind of been the theory all season long. You look back at it against Jacobs, their running back really ran all over the Raiders. Prairie Ridge ran all over the Raiders.
Right, it's the shiftiness. It's the elusiveness. It's that misdirection that the Raiders defense just can't handle. They haven't been able to all season, and they weren't able to adjust to it now.
Extra point, good, makes it 31-7 with 2 minutes and 51 seconds remain. Didn't expect another touchdown in this ball game, but Huntley not able to move the ball. These drives are taking such a short amount of time that as soon as you give the ball back,
Yeah,
you can only stop so much. Your defense has been on the field for a long time.
Right, yeah. Right, it's not like the Rockets really gunning for that one. They just kind of ran the ball up in the middle with Pollock, and it just happened.
You block a punt inside 20.
Even if they weren't really looking for a touchdown at the start of that drive, they still got it just because the Raiders have absolutely no answer to Pollock.
We'll await the kickoff with 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. 31-7 as the Rockets are really pulling away from the Raiders here in this one. And a very good sight here is that is Zach Savvy on the return after being banged up on the last return. That flag is going to be for a block in the back. So another good return for Savvy gets him to the 35. It does look like there might have been a face mask or something on the tackle, or a horse collar, or maybe a whip down tackle, hip toss, type something. Bad tackle, gets the flag. Let's leave it at that. You do have the block in the back as well, so we might see us have to re-kick, but you have the full defense. The Raiders offense is trying to make their way out onto the field. Referees are chatting about what the call is going to be.
So, looks like we're ready for the call.
Yep, finally going to get this one in. And it is going to be on the Raiders. Block in the back, as we expected. And what is the second flag going to be? So there was a late flag on the tackle of Versavi on the sidelines, right around the 33-yard line. Jason Demodica still trying to talk through this.
Still waiting. Not sure if there's a miscommunication error here.
And it's based on all the body language going on in your partner, I would venture on the side that it's only going to be a block in the back, and whatever that second
Sure,
flag was
yeah.
is not going
Just
to.
throwing it away here. Which, can't really blame him.
No, so they do call a personal foul penalty on the tackle on Burlington as well. So between the kick return that came out to about the 32, the holding call, and the personal foul penalty, all that nonsense, we're at the 26-yard line for the Raiders offense. We're still out of game, we in at quarterback. 2:41 now. So they go handoff. And that ball is stripped out and recovered by the Rockets. Looked like the corner Justin Jacobson possibly senior on the carry there.
I mean, yeah, this Raiders offense really does just seem to have a knack for giving the ball to the wrong team here.
Well, that's just here. That's also one of those situations here. He's been playing corner all night. We haven't seen him all season run the ball. You're putting in a guy because it's senior night who's not accustomed to running the football, and the ball's stripped out of his hands very easily. So, I understand, wanting to get a guy the ball, give him a touch, whatever.
Sure. Probably last night ever played football, might as well give it to him, but definitely
So
not.
self-execute. And it doesn't matter if it's what the score is, where you're at, you still have to execute. And it just, there hasn't
That's
been
still
the
shows
execution.
some kind of spirit.
I haven't seen the execution consistently from the Raiders tonight. Really sweating out these last 3 minutes in a blowout game. Between the flags, the turnovers, touchdowns, and punts.
Unexpected touchdown. Yeah, this is
All the backups now in the ball game here for the Rockets as well. In at quarterback is Landon Arnold. And that handoff is going to go up the middle. A short gain for the new running back. We will get you in as soon as we can. If we can. Here is 41 Jack. I apologize. Jack Aguirre.
sure that's right.
Tick under 2 minutes here. Arnold, the quarterback, really letting the play clock tick down. Snaps it at 9 seconds remaining. There's the running back again on the carry, pushes through, and picks up the first down. A Geyer Just heard the PA announcer. It's Jack Aguirre on the curve. I was way off.
Yeah, it's like we're seeing here again. They're just going with their standard up-the-middle running play. Essentially just a burn clock just to get this game over with as we're under 2 minutes now. And the Raiders defense is kind of just letting them do it, letting them get closer and closer to the end zone.
Well, there's only so much level of fight that you're going to put in now at this point if you're the Raiders. They have their backups in just as the Rockets do, so, you know, like you said, these are the situations that some of these guys, these are their last snaps of high school football. This is not going to take a knee there, victory formation, we'll do one more, and that's going to take us to the end of this ballgame.
Yeah, that's absolutely not. It's unfortunate. One, just be the last game of the season, especially maybe a little bit of salt in the wound, but it is senior night. Not the end of your high school career that you're hoping for. But, you know, it's still a tight game. You had the opportunities to win, you had the opportunities to execute. They could do the little things right, and they just couldn't make it click.
So, lots of turnover from the roster from last year. We have the Raiders do still have some younger talent playing here. The offensive line, you still got a couple of younger guys. The defensive line has some juniors on it. The secondary and the linebackers are going to have to be revamped. So, you know, 5 wins on the Raiders season, like we've kind of talked about with the playoff situation, that is most likely going to be outside looking in. Going to need a lot of help to find a way into the playoffs, but, you know, not one of the better seasons for the Raiders, especially coming off of last year.
Yeah, not only making it to the playoffs, but actually making a little bit of a run, actually winning a playoff game is unfortunate to come back with a season, frankly, lackluster of some parts.
We've done a couple of these games, and overall it just kind of seems like they get away from their identity a little bit. Last year with Aiden Janke, you knew it was 30 carries a game, you're going to run for over 200 yards, and you know, a couple of these games though this season, we found the Raiders getting into a more pass happy where you're not running a lot of plays, so you're throwing more punts back. You're taking so much more time on the defensive side of the ball, not manufacturing drives. So maybe trying to find, maybe Dvorak's not the running back, or he finds someone else that can help spell him. You know, find that identity, get back to, you know, that hard-nosed football that they play. So.
Right, and it's such a tricky balance to find. Because again, we talked about it sometimes last year when we were doing games, of when they're having sort of offensive, you know, lackluster moments of even when they're running the ball wasn't working, they kept trying it. It was like it was the only thing in their playbook. And we did talk last year about it sometimes works when they diversify it, when they try to shake it up. And they, you know, just try a few things, working a little bit more passing. But it almost seems like they're scared of running the ball, and then there's no more getting taken. It seems like they've tried to overcorrect for some of their failings last year, even though last year was one of their most successful seasons in recent memory. And what you get is this. What you get is a team that, although they have really made an improvement from a pure diversity standpoint in the offensive playbook, they feel almost scared to run the ball. And they feel like they're just purely not willing to, almost out of a lack of faith of their running backs and their offensive line, even when it does work when they try it. And it just leads to situations like this, which are turnover after turnover and lost of yards after loss of yards.
Yeah, no, here. It's our final thoughts as we kind of wrap it up. I mean, here we've been wrapping up the whole game all, you know, towards the end of the first quarter or fourth quarter. But you know, the biggest things that the scoreboard that reads 31-7 isn't the score. Like that wasn't indicative of the game. That
The game felt much tighter.
it was tighter. Burlington definitely controlled the game. But the Raiders had their opportunities, and they just weren't able to capitalize. And sometimes, that's football. Burlington, we saw it. They won 5 of their last 6, 6 of their last 7. Raiders kind of here, kind of there. they get 2 wins and then lose one. That it was clear Burlington was the better team this season.
Absolutely.
They were the better team tonight, and they came out and they showed it. And then when it mattered, they made sure it showed on the scoreboard as well.
Right, even if it was more something than others, they were in the driver's seat the whole game. Make no mistake about that. Even when it was tied, they had control of the football game. They were in the driver's seat. They had it by the reins. And at the end, once they had the opportunity, they just really put it away. They really started to pull away from the Raiders. And it just led to an all-around solid showing from them. And one of the worst that we've seen recently from them.
Yep. So for the Raiders, they'll reflect. They'll have their reflection periods of whatnot on the season, and maybe they'll hope they've got a little bit of a chance for the playoffs, but overall understand where they're at, and look forward to next season and look forward to getting better, because that's always what it's about. And then on the Burlington Central side of things, there's some promise there. They can run the ball a little bit. Pollock looks very good in the backfield. They have very good success of constantly moving the ball, not putting themselves in bad positions, and then they play good defense. A lot of those things very much play when it comes to playoff football.
Right, it's that constant ball movement we talked about. Again, same kind of situation as when they played Prairie Ridge. It's that sort of solid, quick gains they have trouble with, and that leads them falling around falling apart for a disappointing end of the season.
And with that, I believe our video might have even stopped here. But Raiders, they dropped their final regular season game at home to the Burlington Central Rockets 31-7. We appreciate you guys hanging with us through these technical issues here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. I'm Anthony Colada for my partner Caden Sladd and my brother here doing stats for me. We wish you guys a good night and thank you for listening.